Peace FM 104.3. Good to meet.
They've also, when it comes to revenue mobilization, they said, when it comes to the port, and this is another area I have a great deal of interest. Port. When you ask the GRA, so government's revenue is in two forms: tax revenue and non-tax revenue. Kanina na middle income country, we used to get a lot of grants. Says here, you see, Ghana is a lower middle income country, which means yensu yenyi, and that brings in its wake some, if you wish, constraints. Sikana ana sebi yenya no free mrebia etwe mu no says here yentimi nya sa sikane biem. We still get support grants here and there, but not as we did before. Until what you need to do is to increase your tax revenue. And one of the biggest sources of Ghana's buying tax revenue is the ports. Now, but says here, we are not getting as much as we should because of the arrangements are here or port.
Okay.
Dr. Bawumia, and I'll come to Dr. Bawumia and
Nidia, yeah.
But it's also indicated, sir, or no, he is moving towards some arrangement that he calls free, duty-free kind of port arrangement. And I would have expected some further explanation on that because I'm on free pay.
Another free thing has come.
But that cannot be because Ghana is part of a customs union. ECOWAS is now a customs union, and once you are part of a customs union, you are there every common external tariff. So you cannot say would you tariff from any debit.
One can say.
No, I can't help people understand the word free.
One can free.
Okay, I say.
It will be tagged to Togo. Togo get free.
How do you refer to Togo there?
Oh, sir.
Togo tariffs.
Tariffs war.
No, how did
it will be tagged? It will not be higher. No. But then you're free.
So it will be aligned with that.
Well, remember how because
just to compete, but one can say free. Now,
no, when you say aligned, you see, tariffs now Togo for HR, is the common external tariff, but Abayan can some fat tariffs into imports so, and that's the point I'm making.
So is duty free?
No, you see, and
Togo is duty free. It's not duty free. How would they maintain the pot?
Do they pay duties on?
How would they pay workers?
No. By all means, there will be some payment.
No, you see, there are levies. Do you see when you take import duties?
One can free, but to their cost.
Okay,
I mean, just to one can free. I say you align it
to Togo. Okay, all right. Nena make can say, "Oko ports ho." And one even a greater percentage of GRA for revenue. Every ports ho. But Nansen yes hasikano. Because of the arrangements at the ports. Now, import duties are indexed to dollar. And we know, sir, there is volatility in our exchange rate regimes. And then it starts here. Look, exchange rate stability. Ghana has not enjoyed exchange rate stability consistently for 2-3 years. And if you are indexing your import duties against a currency like the dollar, what you are trying to do is at every point in time, import duties are going to go up anytime there is a fall in the power of your currency. And at any time your currency depreciates against the dollar, that would translate into higher import duties. Wow. Until almost see they are going to introduce, they are going to review the arrangements now and make sure, say, import duties are competitive.
Okay.
In some sense, it's not very different from what Dr. Bawumia is saying, but maybe, like I said, when Dr. Bawumia explains what he means by he's going to align it with that of Togo, then we can understand what it means. Because you also need to be careful. Say, you do not at the end of the day lose a lot of revenue because that's where your revenue is coming from. And like greater percentage of your revenue is coming from. Until in your bid to satisfy a certain demand, say, import duties, and if you are not careful and you want to overly satisfy that demand, you might make a promise that would not be actionable. Anything Amika say, every policy ought to be actionable, sustainable. You may even say, okay, this is actionable, but is it sustainable? Because you need Togo for our arrangements are different. They are part of a different monetary zone called the UEMOA. What is here?
Intino, Opa just say anya de befa.
Me my dream no ye say ye. You can do it but collapse the economy. Because where a greater percentage of your revenue is coming from. You are saying say you beyan to say Togo for the no. And ye yen sana there will be a huge reduction in revenue. There will be a huge reduction. I am saying say some of the things we need to do is let's get rid of this indexation, this dollar indexation. Yeah, no free is enough relief even to importers. Say exchange rate cost rule and cost rule. You have an arrangement that is not based on the dollar. Every Tuesday, they review. You can say tariffs, at the port, and most of the time they review them upward because your dollar no sabi Atik change.
But so if we don't peg it against the dollar, how realistic would our tariffs be?
Oh, Chairman,
because now can be about losing revenue.
Yeah.
Sika eba futunum asonte.
You see, asonte in the sense that when people are able to afford the tariffs, they import more. So
tariffs ni the nyama more beba.
So that you get more. There is something in economics we call the Laffer effect.
Laffer. Any other?
Laffer effect and it works both in debt management and in taxation. And it was named after Nipana or this had in Bayano.
Okay.
Arthur Laffer. Reagan commissioned him to do a study. President
Reagan or US man, Juma said,
ama omu taxes because
eto
because and all you study no who say you have two choices. Near can either be increase the rate of the tax until Anka Kanino would 2.5%.
Now the cost
no they are 5%. And now ube trim na wama nkrofo mutua taxes na aye bebre.
Until widening the tax net no.
Yes. Until be who say look, you're increasing the rate of tax no. Two effects are likely. Say, look, the opposite effect is what you are going to get. I also two tax rates no more. But the effect is that increase here, you get lesser tax revenue.
Because you'll be on a bit here.
Exactly, and people even begin to evade tax. They will avoid and evade tax. And the higher the rates, the more likely you are going to get lesser receipts.
Until your form now say spreading more. Kwajo ahodo was Sheffield, UK. Or same in country so Bawumia didn't say port duties will be free.
Yeah, okay.
But Togo's will be our benchmark.
Yeah, okay.
Meaning ours will not be higher than that of Togo.
Yes, I think the Amidasi Kojo why Madam Fupa.
Oh nimno. Or that sending messages so I mean nimno.
Oh za. Oh. Is an academic. He's a good guy.
Great.
And he's the type.
Peace FM 104.3. Good to meet you.